Menace to Sobriety. Just a menace, just a menace.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Menace to Sobriety with me, Daniel O'Reilly, and my co-host over there, flick the camera across, Kirk Norcross.
Hey.
Oi, oi. Straight in, no messing around today. Also, our producer, John, he's been with us since the beginning. Fun fact about John, he's a hand model. Get your hand, and this is this is true. He's a hand model. You might not reckon people. I don't know if there's hand fans out there.
Keeps me in latex gloves. This is important.
But to prove it, with show them the website. Just show them the website quickly. He's a hand model.
all right, I'll find it. And
Okay,
then I'll
come
show
back to it. Come back to it. But when I found out that about John, I was like, mate, you got to have some shitty face. I'm joking. To be hand model.
They never want it in.
I'm joking, but yeah, John's been with us since the beginning of this podcast. So I want to bring him into the family a little bit more, guys. So, John, let's get you a bit more involved today. Kirk, how's your week been, mate?
Yes, good. I hadn't had my son though because he went away with his nan. So
Okay.
yeah, it was a little bit hard, but I just preoccupied myself. The minute my mind starts going, we went golf.
We
and
did go golf.
By the look of it, I don't think you was yourself, Dan. What's going on?
No,
this
I did.
week?
I had a real tough week, didn't I? I had a bad week, man. I had a real bad week. And I feel like I just snapped out of it. Isn't it weird that sometimes it just goes that way? And thank you very much, by the way, Kirk. You're always very in tune. Yeah, good couple of phone calls we had this week. Do you know what it was? It was the fucking. We get straight into it, I suppose. It was. It's the shit I get online, man. Like sometimes it's. Oh, you get it as well, didn't you?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, and sometimes it's fine, and it just turned a little bit dark. It was a few situations in a row that got to me, and if I don't get my head around it, because I've got little techniques where, like, I'll be like, right, you know, what I try and think is anyone that's lashing out at me online because of what we're talking about is doing it because they're struggling.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
So-
But as well, and I understand why you say that, Dan, and that feels like people should get a pass for being an idiot.
Yeah.
Like, because I remember you told me someone's very nasty to you.
Yeah.
And I said, don't have it with it, mate. You know,
Yeah.
have it back with him. And you're like, no, because I don't want to push him over the edge, which well done to you saying that. But, you know, look, it's not right for people just because I know we put ourselves on social media platforms, but it doesn't mean we're allowed for people to say, listen, I think you're a CMT, I think you're an idiot, I think what you're doing in life is shit. But you are right what you said, they're suffering.
Yeah,
But it's not fair, though.
No, it ain't fair. But sometimes if I don't have my head in the right space, it goes. I mean, I had a particularly really nasty. They're probably going to watch this podcast because they're in it. So, you know, you are early in the morning, particularly dark email, about my father and everything like that, and just sickening. And but I know the person's struggling, so I didn't reply or air it or anything like that. They're going through their own struggles, but it got into me. It got into my ego. Unfortunately, somebody that I was making videos with, and I'm going to have to step back from the direct contact with people a little bit, just while my head settles, because I get into my inbox and I talk to people that are struggling, and unfortunately, it is a dark cloud. What we're talking about is quite dark stuff.
Yes.
And sometimes I've just got to step back. But unfortunately, a lady, I'd done a video for her husband who was going sober. So I'd done a video, hello, mate, good luck with your sobriety and keep going and, stay motivated and that. And then she emailed me and said that he died by suicide. And it really hit me, man. And, and my thoughts go out to her. She watches the podcast and, her strength, what she must be going through. But that with something else, my head just went. And on top of that, my missus and kids were away the whole week. Mm-hmm. So it was just me. I'm the same as you. Idle hands, fucking.
Oh, mate, it's mad. And condolences to the, it's horrible. And it's happening far too much. And, do you know what I mean? And it's, you know what? And this is why what we're doing, with suicide, maybe if you can take a drug away from a situation, you won't go down that path. You're just adding so many variables. Yeah. If you're suffering, adding that drug is going to cloud your vision so much that suicide becomes quite easy thought. Yeah. Because you're out your nut, you're irrational, you're not thinking right. So this is why we're doing this. And,
and I spoke to this woman as well. I think this may have been part of it on the suicide thing. I got this lady, I haven't told you about this actually, but I've got this lady coming on the podcast to talk to us. Nice. We're going to do a podcast for Suicide Prevention Day. Perfect. I was going to talk to you about
that's fine, it's good, yeah.
But this lady
that episode's going to be a crier.
Yeah, it is. Sometimes I forget that you've got first hand experiencing this with your father, and so I'm sorry to.
But so have many others,
Yeah,
you
yeah,
know,
I know.
and what I've got to try and use my experiences and my journey to help people, man. Do you know what I mean?
Well, that's why that's
Yeah.
your calling, mate.
That's it. You know, if I knew my dad was in that place, you know, if there was signs, but I didn't know the signs. Now, when I do look back at my dad, like, fuck, I could see them.
Yeah.
But you know,
what this woman she's found out, and I might get the thing wrong. I think it's called coethanol or something. But she lost her son. Her son used to get really, really bad come downs and hangovers, really bad. Where she even jokingly said, "Oh, you know, I've got to stay in. I'm on suicide watch with my boy today," because she knew he was out using that, and he was saying to his friends, "Mate, I can't because of the come downs and whatever."
Yeah.
And anyway, through her journey, what she's discovered is the mixture of alcohol and cocaine in the system can cause something that she described as like a delirium, right? And I really experienced something. So the first time I went counselling was because on my come downs, I would fucking lose my mind sometimes. Like, I mean, I really would. I'd like think the world was against me, and I'd be like, right, I'm out of here, and then I'd snap out of it suddenly, and I'd be like, what the fuck had just happened? And I was talking to her about it. I had a Zoom with her, and she, I mean, this might have been part of the reason why I had a little bit of a dip, because we went into a lot of details about her and other people. But there's this common thing where lads are that I don't know what the percentage is. We're going to talk about it, but a huge thing where it's actually a thing where, you know, lads that have never considered suicide or that are not thinking about suicide haven't got fucking major problems in their life or anything like that. But the cocaine and the alcohol cause a delirium that makes a split-second decision.
I had, what's the word for it? Psychosis.
Yeah.
Psychosis. So, man, I tripped hard, like on coke and sleeping tablets, like to the point of you'd probably want to kill yourself at some of the things that you were seeing. Yeah. Because, mate, I got a funny story what happened.
How can you make this funny, Kirk? Fuck.
Well, no, what happened with psychosis, how real it was. So I remember I had a friend of mine, I think we started getting on it on the Friday night. Sunday morning comes, we're still getting on it. He then goes, I think he gets a cab. And as he's jumping in the cab, he said, right, and gives me a couple of sleeping tablets. He said, call it now, mate. I've got nothing left anyway. So I took the sleeping tablets. He said, take them in front of me, mate, because I know that you'll go on a mad one. So this is Sunday morning when he left. Match of the Day was just coming on, and we'd been on it since Friday. So I've took these two sleeping tablets. As I'm tidying up, Match of the Day's on, I'm tidying up all the tray, I found an eighth.
Fuck!
Right?
How can you find an eighth?
Well, I bought 2 eighths. I thought you must have bought more. I don't know how there was not one there. I was like, fuck, completely forgot I just took the sleeping tablet. So I started cracking on that eighth, right? In my house, do you ever remember in the games room where there was an Elvis statue?
Yeah.
And also I had the fortune telling machine with Elvis in it.
I can't remember. I was fucked when I was around yours, but yeah.
So I'm cleaning up, yeah? Now the paranoia's come in. This is how real it was. So by the way, just a heads up. If I was on drugs, I wouldn't even text my dad because I'd be like, no, he'll know. He'll know by my grandma that I'm out me nut. So I would not even text my dad when I was on coke. I used to live next door to my dad. And these statues started talking to me, right? Saying they were going to kill me. Like, bad.
Well, really? So you really thought that?
I didn't think that the statue had come alive. I thought when I went and let my friend out, people got, because one of them was like 7 foot tall and the other fortune telling machine was probably about the same size. I thought 2 people got inside them and was waiting for me to go to sleep, right? So, but they would never talk when I'd look at them, right? So I'd look away and they're like, we'll get you. I'm like, right, fuck. So now I've got my phone out. I put my phone on my sofa and I'd walk away and I'd now watch the video back. So I'm now recording this. I have now opened up the fucking Zorg machine. And whoever did buy this, we sold it last year. It has a hand all burnt because I held a lighter. Do you know the
oh
my
film? Fucking
you
God.
know the film Big?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the
Zorg machine. I had an Elvis version of that. So he had 2 hands. So I put a lighter under his hand and said, you'll move now, right? So now I've took the Elvis glasses off him. I've put it in. I'll put the Elvis sunglasses on myself. I was like, these are going to kill me. To the point now, I'm getting so scared. I'm just saying, listen, just do it now. Fucking do it, because the anxiety is killing me more than what you are going to do. Just go at me. Still having a little bump. I'm now in my pants. It's now 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I've been arguing with these 2 statues all day. I've gone and knocked on my dad's door in a pair of pants and Elvis sunglasses. I beat.
Fucking
Started
hell.
on the and I wouldn't even text my dad. This is how scared I was. I wouldn't even text my dad if I'm out or not. Right? So I knocked on his door. Got these Elvis glasses, pair of pants, sweating, been on it Friday night. It's now Sunday afternoon. Dad, listen, I'm on drugs. Right? but this ain't why. Please come in my fucking games room and have a look at these things, right? He's like, what's up? I said, Dad, they're going to fucking kill me. Come in now. He's walked in, right? One of the Elvis statues, the one with the guitars, on the floor.
Yeah.
I said, Dad, watch my phone. Watch my phone, I promise you. Because even when I watched my phone back, I could hear them on the phone, right? And he's looked at him and said, Kirk, you're going to get locked up.
Oh my
Right?
God.
He said, delete this now. My dad would never father me in a sense of cuddle me or stuff. He literally walked me into my living room. He laid me down on the sofa and just stroked my hair and said, listen, just calm down, mate, calm down. I said, Dad, I'm not an idiot. I said, I know these haven't come to live. There's 2 fuckers inside them and they're going to fucking kill me. He said, Kirk, what have you done? I said, I've just done coke, Dad. Oh, fuck, Dad. You know what? I said, I took sleeping tablets as well. I forgot because literally as I see my mate out.
Yeah.
And then
Fucking hell,
once
man.
my dad must have got me asleep, then his funny side had come in, right? So I must have slept until Sunday night, Monday morning. As I've woke up on my sofa, there's a fucking 7-foot Elvis statue in front of me. The fucker's gone and picked it up from the game room, put it in front of the sofa. I remember opening my eyes going, ah! Like that. And my dad, I run my dad out and said, Dad, listen, really bad, rah, rah, rah. I'm sorry, mate. He said, listen, the phone needs to be deleted, that video, because you'll get sectioned, Kirk. I promise you, right? What I see you doing. So on Chopper, when he stabs the other geezer up that film and he goes, oh, sorry, Keith, and gives him a fag.
Yeah.
I slapped the Elvis man and said sorry and put a fag in his mouth after, right? And then my dad went to buy, probably a year later. In my dressing room, I had a shelf with a load of hats, like, the snapback cap, all in a row. I've gone in my room out my nut, right?
Sorry.
And the hats were moving like a caterpillar. I've now got a fucking hammer and I'm hammering the fucking hats thinking there was a ghost, right? I FaceTime my dad in Dubai. Dad, straight away, the minute I've answered the phone, he said, you're on it, aren't you? Because my fucking face used to go all weird. I went, Dad, there's a ghost. There's a ghost in my house, right? He said, what? Stop, Kirk. What are you doing with a fucking hammer? Right? Right, Dad. I said, I swear on my life, the fucking hats are moving, right? And where I'm trying to hit a ghost that I can't see, I've put holes. It was like, so my dressing room was like a loft conversion. So the shelf is in the recess and I'm eating the fucking things, but eating the wall because there's nothing now. So now, when I've sobered up the next day, I'd had to ring me dad up. Where we'd built like a loft conversion, I had cupboards in and the cupboards went into like the roof recess. So I had to quickly think, right, he's going to go mad. I said, Dad, there wasn't a ghost. He said, I know there wasn't a ghost. I left one of the cupboards in and I said, the wind must have been blowing the hats. And I thought it was a ghost. But that's psychosis. The last psychosis I had.
There's more.
Nah, this was just hearing things. But my dad had died at this point. Right, everyone get down there. No,
Yeah,
Dad had
sorry.
died. So when I relapsed, when Dad died, I locked myself in my bedroom for a few days. And now I can hear stuff. I can hear everyone talking. When I was bang on it for a couple of days, psychosis would kick in and I'd hear everything. I could hear, my dad had died. Yeah. Right? I'm in my bedroom, locked in. I've got skylight windows. I can hear my brother talking to my dad.
Oh, you told me this one before, yeah.
And he's saying, fucking my brother's going, Kirk, no one was there, by the way. Like, my dad's dead. But I could properly hear this to the point of I'm looking out the window, I could still hear him, but thinking, where are they? My brother's going, Kirk's uncontrollable. We really need to sort him out. And my brother's like, and my dad, was going, Kirk, Daniel, I've just fucking died. Let him go get on it for a bit, mate. He's just lost his dad. Yeah. And then I'm like, but where I was aware of psychosis.
You knew, you kind of knew.
But then I'm like, but I can fucking hear it, man.
Do you know what that was? That's. Do you know what? And sorry, by the way, that fucking killed me, man.
We've got to get that Elvis story animated.
Yeah.
That's got to be.
Honestly,
oh my God.
It was crazy.
And I shouldn't laugh. man.
Listen, I
And
don't
that
know-
was really tough to stop laughing when you started talking about your dad. I was like, oh shit. But Kirk, you got to start doing stand up. Do you know what? I'm doing a show this Friday. I'm doing a show at my club this Friday, warming up material. You should come and tell that story.
I'll give it a go.
Definitely a bit for sure.
Is it a bit?
Mate, it's a
I've
bit.
got
yeah.
it written in my joke notes in case I ever do stand up. But
But,
psychosis is
Yeah.
honestly the things it can do to people. Look, jokes aside, that
Yeah, it's-
sounds funny now.
No, it's terrible.
It was
And,
so
and look,
traumatic.
And this
for
is
me,
why
Dan.
this podcast is so weird because we talk about such serious stuff, but it in such a candid way. But listen, I think like this woman, she thinks that she's made a discovery with the coethanol, I think it's called.
Yeah.
And like because that's a major thing, lads that aren't considering suicide on a come down, a switch goes in their mind. A switch just goes. It could just be like a chemical reaction, a switch that like sets off like almost like a self-destruct button in your mind.
What I think as well is what affects a lot of people feeling really shit on a come down, as well as the feeling of a come down.
Yeah.
It's the realization, right? So say you have suicide ideations or anything in that sense. If you've gone, most addicts when they do get on it, they cause rampage for that 3 days.
Yeah.
They fuck everyone else's life up. Do you know what I mean? Friends, family, everyone's panicking and they're shouting them at the same time. So imagine being on a high for 2-3 days or even a night.
Yeah.
And then when you become sober, when you
Come down.
start to come down, it's the realization of what have I just done?
Yeah, it's the guilt, and the
guilt.
shame,
Oh
shame.
my God. And for some poor people that have lived this Groundhog Day for so long,
They just can't.
they
deal with
think,
it.
I've got to go.
Yeah.
Because it's that realization. But
And actually, they probably think it's what people want.
that's,
Yeah.
But you know what? Just owning a mistake. One, is one of the biggest things you can do.
Yeah.
And two, you will learn. Remember
Yeah.
what I said? You can't get something right until you say, I'm doing it wrong.
Yeah,
So you know what? You've got to take, when you feel that come down,
yeah,
take it, use
Yeah.
it, and say, this will be like this anytime.
yeah,
No matter who I do drugs with, where I do drugs,
Yeah.
and how many drugs I do. That's the fucking outcome.
Yeah.
And as we say, Dan, if people can go get on it, I'm never condoning to get on it, but if you can go have a pint and a bit of thing and cause no ag to anyone's life or yourself,
go more power to you.
good on
Yeah.
you. I'm jealous of you.
Yeah, yeah.
But
I think I only ever had, like I've discussed it before, I only ever had one suicidal episode, and my thought process through it was I was there, I was using and everything, and I was sitting there and I was like, I'm fucking sick to death of this. But I'd broken up with my missus, my father had died, I was sat there and I was like, I just don't, I
can't do this.
I can't,
Yeah,
I can't.
I can't be me.
I can't sleep. I can't comprehend the come down. And I was sitting there and I was like, do you know what? And I was crying. I always used to cry when I was on my own, getting on it.
Yeah.
And I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing? And then I was like, am I thinking? And I was thinking, am I thinking about killing myself? Am I thinking? And then I was thinking about killing myself. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm having suicidal thoughts. And then I was like, okay, all right. And then luckily I called the Samaritans, but I can completely get how it can go from there to there. But this is the big thing for me. This is the big thing. After speaking to that woman when she was talking about the coethanol, and sorry if I'm getting that wrong, and about like this thing happening, is how many lads out there, like the Leah Betts moment in Essex when she died after taking a pill. I can remember going, well, fuck me, I might not do pills then because you know what, that's like it's like a light bulb moment.
Was it with that? I know there was loads to that case. Was it? Was it her brain flooded with water?
I'm not sure. Maybe she drank too much. Let's not get into it because I'm not too sure. But my point being is,
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You heard a bad story about an ecstasy.
and it stopped me wanting to take it.
If we can get a proof.
Yeah, and like a light bulb moment like that's really publicised, a light bulb moment out there. Like if we can say to these lads out there, look, listen, there's a big chance, even if you're not thinking about it now, you might commit suicide if your come down is too bad.
That happened with MCAT.
Oh, don't talk to me about NCAT.
So I was doing that, even though I knew it was plant food, right? I was doing it, but then a few people started keeling over, and I thought, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
As much as we put posters on the wall, stop smoking, don't tell people to stop, right? But why aren't there posters in the tube to say, fucking Rick, 19 years old, went out for a night's,
Committed suicide.
Committed suicide or died. We're not telling people to stop, but we're just letting you know that this can happen to normal people.
That's why I want to learn more about this coethanol thing. But
yeah.
All right, John, did you find pictures of your hand?
Yeah. I've
Your
got one up
website.
here.
Let's just lighten the mood. Mate, what happened then? That was fucking mental, the beginning of this podcast.
That was
mad.
something. That was flying. Yeah, we got to get that animated. That's going to be a big little.
Yeah?
Be a big.
Let's see, like, so let's look.
Right, let's get 'em up.
Look at
Look at
this.
his hand.
Let's have a look at this
What do
hand.
you have to hold?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. So
Penises.
some of that.
Go closer so we can get a zoom. Put
Yeah,
it in
there.
front of your face and it'll fix to it.
Look at that. He's a real hand model, guys. Look,
that's
that's his
me.
hand. If someone's selling a car, you put your hand by the car door and people buy that shit. That's power, bro. Oi, listen, could I borrow your hand for when I'm sending dick pics wrapping around me cock?
Well, my hands are quite big though. So
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
there we go. All sorts of things.
need to get a midget's hand around it.
John, how did you... Were you the one that noticed you had good hands, or would you out one day and
I was
someone
just
said, stop?
Literally
Stop right there,
discovered
your
by a
hands
big
are amazing.
Italian auteur. Yeah.
Fuck off. That's bollocks.
What do you say? Can you just hold this a minute?
Someone I knew did it. I applied.
Wow.
It keeps me in.
I wouldn't be able to get that. Look
go
at my hands are fucked. Like,
Well, you got man's hands. You've thrown a punch before.
yeah, I've thrown many.
I've only thrown a big slap.
Yeah, no,
You ain't even thrown a slap. Come on,
I've
John.
got terrible hands.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to. Well, no.
No, they like tattoo hands.
Do you know what? Your hands are great for the premise of this podcast.
Yeah, but I got bit by a dog at work, put in hospital for 5 days. That was horrible.
Oh.
Okay, no.
Yeah, and the geezer knocked me on the job at the same time. His dog bit me, and he knocked me a couple of grand on the job.
Okay.
And I was off for 2 weeks because I had to be in hospital for 5 days and have my hand. Anyway.
Kirk, you've had some life, mate.
Yeah.
I'm never going to look at Elvis again in the same way.
Oh, mate, honestly.
That's like a weird Tarantino bit.
So
Like, that
weird.
Was, yeah.
It was so weird. Like, weird.
Very, very funny.
But again, I need to remember them moments.
Yeah, of
because I think I said about it before. When I was when I went sober the first time, I was being taken back to times, probably one occasion of a good time. that
yeah,
I felt
you romanticise
But about a good time.
Yeah.
All the fucking 95% of the bad times were gone. It was like, oh,
Well,
remember that one time you set up a
that-
business
this-
with your
this-
mate about fucking soles of shoes
Yeah.
in a kitchen?
Yeah. Oh, don't even get me started.
Right, let's, should we get on?
Yeah, what's on it? On.
On with the podcast.
Come on, let's turn all these inanimate objects to life.
Can I just say, I love this.
Yeah, it's cool,
It's
innit?
really good.
This is
really
great.
good. And I get to see my son today, and I haven't seen him since last week. I'm so excited.
Oh, man. See, it's amazing how the kids just bring us to
Listen,
life.
I'm going to get him, and then I'll be with him for an hour, and I'm like, mate, can you just go in another room for just 2 minutes? Just so I can tidy this living room up. Do you know what I mean? And then once I've tidied up, I'm like, come here. Cuddles.
Yeah. All right, go on then, John. What are we talking about today? If we've got any fucking time left.
Yeah. So today's topic, we're gonna do the sobriety topic is making the change. So yeah, all the stuff that encompasses. So let's start off with
So what's, sorry, transition? Sorry.
Oh, don't.
that's a different podcast. So so feeling the need for a change. So what is it like to recognize that a change is needed? And for you guys, when did you realize that you need to change? So it's different. It's different from rock bottom.
Well-
rock bottom's your lowest. This is
Yeah, I feel like what would be.
Recognition.
Yeah, I feel what would be good. I feel we've done a lot on that. I think it's how to change.
Yeah,
would be
what
good.
was the first bullet point, John, on
yeah.
that section?
So what it's like to recognize that a change is needed and like signs you should look out for.
Yeah, I would say if you just look at your group of friends and family, when they're not as responsive on texts or inviting you to more functions. You know, say if you was always go out as a group, but then you might be the last one to go, or, oh, we're just going out for a quiet meal today.
Yeah.
I feel that that's when you need to sort of reevaluate why.
Yeah, I think a big one. Yeah, I
It's
think.
hard to do this without getting the rock bottom.
Yeah, we
stage.
don't want to get into the rock bottom stuff again, but I think a big one is if you're exhibiting a behaviour that gives you a negative feeling and you don't want to do it, but you continue doing it.
Yeah.
Then that's a big sign. But look, the first let's get into this. I think this is a good thing for
Yeah,
us
the
to get
first
into.
steps.
The first steps to change. So the first step, obviously.
Yours was a different route to me, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
Let's
I know.
listen to yours.
Well, yeah. I mean, I never fucking thought Elvis was coming to
No,
kill me.
the way you went sober.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so let's, yeah.
well, so I think firstly, if you're watching this podcast anyway, you've probably already made that first step,
Yes.
and that's wondering if you've got a problem. And you said that quite well the other day. What did you say? Like if you're even questioning, well, look, people that don't have a drink and drug problem don't wonder if they've got
Yeah,
a
the
drink or drug
minute
problem.
you think, like, when is enough, the minute you think that, or am I drinking too much, or am I doing too much coke?
You probably are.
You are, man. You wouldn't think that. You wouldn't have a pint a week or just a lash on a Friday with the lads and think, oh, is this too much? No, but it's the minute your normal daily routine starts changing. So the minute you might be either late for work or feeling shit in the morning or arguing with your partner for no reason, just silly things like not having as many showers or not taking the dogs out like you should, or
If it's affecting your life, yeah.
Exactly that. Any routine, everyone's life is different. But if there is any part of your life that is changed because of the session, that's it, man. It's changing your life. It's not doing what it was meant to. Back in the day, people would use it to just heighten a night.
Yeah.
They'd use a drug or a drink to heighten that night. But now it isn't. The shit that they put in that drug is affecting you all fucking week, man. You've got petrol. You've got fucking
Rat
everything
poison.
in now. Rat poisoning. In crack now, they're putting dog wormers in the middle of cracks. Do you know what I mean? In the middle of crack, people smoking dog wormers. Fucking killing people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I heard.
You yeah. No, I think right. So this is a big one for me, like, because there's a few people around me that are kind of struggling in this place at the moment, and this is a big one. It's where people are going, look, like, say for instance your partner or your mum or someone around you is going, look, listen, I think you're drinking a little bit too much, or someone goes to you, and this is what I had. I had everyone around me. My dad said it, was saying it to me fucking 5 or 6 or 7. When did he die? 2016. My dad was saying it to me then in 2016. When people around you are saying, every time I see you, you've got a drink in your hand, or you're out all the time, or this is a big one. If your partner is saying to you, oh man, do you have to go out and you're drinking a little bit too much, right? And your response is, fucking hell, just let me enjoy myself. I want to do it. And your response is a little bit snapbacky, and you actually can't make that conscious decision to choose not to.
You've got to realise that your friends, your partner, and your family, they wouldn't tell you not to do something that was good for you. They wouldn't go tell you to have a day off work.
Well, they can't. Right? They wouldn't say don't go to the gym, would they?
Do you know what I mean? So if they're saying, can you not drink tonight? They're saying it for a reason. So rather than what I would have done and you done, fuck off. I fucking worked all week. Let me get on it. Think, why are they saying this to me? Let me think quickly. Now let me look at myself for the last 7 days. So take yourself out of yourself quickly and have a look of what you've done for the last 7 days, and then think,
yeah, if you've done drugs, say 2 times in the last 7 days, and you've been drinking almost every day, I'd say that's a problem. I mean, even you know, I don't know. It's hard to put a number on it, but go on.
It's talking about how to get. So rock bottom was really how to give up. You know,
to know
you're enough. So
the first step.
So how I found CA, which Cocaine Anonymous, which was what helped me. Okay. So I went in, I'd never heard it. So I went into my doctors and I just cried and I just said, look, I can't stop doing it. There's nothing that can stop me doing it. Please help me, you know. And they give me a CA brochure and said, ring that number. They're a free organisation. So I got it. And then I showed my partner at the time and said, look, I'm going to try this place. So I rang this person and they spoke to me about CA. It's a free, what do they call it when they raise the money for themselves? It's like a free organisation, you know, so it's a fellowship.
Charity.
Yeah. So what they said is you just turn up, and I said this on my first podcast, so you'll just turn up to a meeting. If you just Google CA where to find, you will find out wherever they are in any country. They're in America, they're in Portugal, they're in the UK. They're on in the daytimes, they're on the night times, they're anywhere. Even Saturday mornings they're on, do you know what I mean? So anyway, I found CA, and I was just willing to do whatever. Yeah. Like, listen, I'm done. Right, me trying ain't working no more. What could I do? So what they suggest in CA, which is very hard for some people, but they say 90 meetings in 90 days. Yeah. You know, a lot of people can do that because the reason they've gone to CA, they've got no job, they've lost everything. So they can pretty much. But so I went to my first meeting and met so many like-minded people. And they always say to you, because I was like, fuck. I've just listened to your story. You were like how I am now. You were like that a year ago, and now look at you, you're amazing. What do I do? And they say, if you want what we've got, you got to do what we do. So I'm like, what do you do? So look, don't be put off with CA because it's. I'm going to tell you my journey, okay, but it's not everyone's journey has to be the same. So I got rid of all my friends. Well, I don't think I did. I think they got rid of me near the end because I was too much on drugs. So I didn't have no friends. So when I went to CA, I met guys that are around my age, a mixture up and down of ages. And I just sort of, right, that's it. You're my friends. What do you do? And they were like, we go kayaking, we go for meals out and all stuff like that. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. And I was like, so I stuck with these people. And I was starting to go to about 3 or 4 meetings a week in the evenings. And the meetings are, everyone sits around in a circle. A pot goes round and you put £1 or £5 or whatever you've got, you put in the pot. That funds Cocaine Anonymous. And they have 12 steps, and it is the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, because it is a proven fact that the 12 steps of AA, I think it's been going around since the 1820s, has worked. Okay, if you follow them steps, they've worked. I'm going to hold my hands up. I haven't followed through all of my 12 steps. So when you're in CA, you don't have to talk. So you'll have someone who holds that meeting, whose meeting it is, and they will bring in a guest each week.
Yeah.
And it'll be, the guest will be to talk about their journey from addiction to sobriety. And then halfway through the meeting, they're like, has anyone got any questions? You ain't got to ask that person anything. It's literally, oh, I've had a fucking bad day today.
Yeah,
and then,
you just talk.
You're just venting, man. You're just venting. And then, so what it was, I can't blame anyone for my relapse, but I was smashing sobriety. I was hanging around with people that I met in sobriety, right? And I was winning. What I found, so a part of your 12 steps, they say you've got to find a higher power. John, can you get the 12 steps up, please? Is that all right?
Yeah, I mean, I can get them up on here. It's slightly this.
Yeah, get it on your phone and just read them.
Yeah.
all.
Yeah, so I'm going to, can you,
Sure.
wait, if I do it on mine, can you just get,
Yeah.
right, if we go, can you just write in 12 steps for me? So what they say is you got to find a higher power. And listen, you ain't got to be religious or anything, okay? But a higher power can be anything. I'm Catholic. Higher power was God to me, okay?
Yeah.
It's because I am Catholic. I was born and raised Catholic. I used to go to church as a kid.
But your higher power could be the universe.
It could be anything. Yeah, it could be
or just thinking it's something more powerful than me.
A lot of people will use a relative that passed away.
Oh, okay,
You know?
really? I
So
never
a lot
knew
of people
that.
can use that, but it could be a fucking door handle. It could. A higher power, something that's not
Because
me.
it was the God stuff that originally put me off the groups.
And that's why I want to say a lot of people have gone down the spiritual way because nothing on this earth could stop them.
Yeah.
You know? So I went down the religious route.
Yeah,
I just found my old religious path. So I started going to church again.
Wow.
And I started praying. I prayed every morning. I prayed like hope God brings health to everyone. I hope you can keep me sober for another day. I started going to church. I'd done my reconciliation again.
Yeah.
I'd done my I can't even remember the word, so I can give myself to God and receive the bread. And you know what? It was helping me. I'm not saying anyone do that, but it was helping me because anyone on this earth could not stop me from doing drugs. I couldn't do it on my own, and I couldn't do it with my circle that was around me. So I had a nice little group of people in CA that was helping me out. And then I got a real tight group with a group of lads. We were going out in the days. We became such a group of friends. And then I even had one of them working for me, a friend of mine, Matt, lovely guy. And I remember one day we went kayaking, and we went and picked up one of my mates from his flat. And then they always been a bit weird with me after that. And you got to think, my whole life I'd fucked everything up.
Yeah.
Sobriety, I was winning. I was so happy. The one thing that I needed to do, I was doing it. And then Matt said to me one day at work, he said, Kirk, have you relapsed? I said, mate, you know I'd relapsed. I'm working 7 days a week. You've been with me every day. I said, why do you think that? He said, one of the other lads, when you went and picked him up from kayaking, he had a shared flat and there was probably about 11 other, I don't know, it was a townhouse. There was other people that lived there. He said, when you come and picked him up, the neighbour found a lottery ticket rolled up, wrapped up like a ticket on the floor. And this was months ago, after he asked me. I said, now why did they think it's me? Oh, because you were there that day. I said, there was a load of other people there that day, right? And these are my tight group,
And
right?
it upset you.
And it fucking upset me. One, they were helping me with sobriety. So if they thought I had slipped off the wagon, rather than talk amongst themselves and bring my anxiety back up, why didn't they say, Kirk, found a bit of gear, is it yours? It wasn't me, I was smashing sobriety. So I thought, you know what, fuck yous, I can't learn to let yous help me with sobriety. I've got to do this on my own. You know what I mean? So I carried on with my church, I carried on with my meditation in the morning, and I carried on. So there's a 12-step program which I can't get out. I need to just...
But what happened? Sorry, so what happened? You relapsed after that?
I relapsed because I would be talking to them daily, and in CA at the end there is an anonymity.
Yeah.
Is that how you say the word where you can't talk about it?
Yeah.
Anonymity, yeah.
Anonymity.
Yeah.
That word that John just said. And then it really upset me because no one's allowed to talk about anyone in things. And now my tight group, someone had found drugs, and what we found out that morning, builders had been in there. Some scaffolders. You know what scaffolders are, right? Do you know what I mean? listen, I'm not one to drop drugs. So that ruined it for me.
I'm not one to drop drugs.
That ruined it
Yeah.
for me, you know. So so I fucked off, right, because I thought then I was better. And I relapsed hard because I didn't have my friends to talk to that was going through the same pain as mine.
So you felt you'd lost your support group.
I lost my support group. So what I would suggest, I know I went down it a little bit, but
Yeah.
I found the 12 steps quickly. So this is the 12 steps, okay? And this is what you will find out in CA.
Yeah.
Or write this down and just try to do it. So the 12 steps. 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives have become unmanageable.
Yeah.
There are many other steps, right? But see that number 1. As long as I know that number
your key.
1,
That's your key.
that I just remind myself.
That's the
look,
beginning of everyone's journey, isn't
I
it?
admitted that I'm
you've got a problem.
powerless.
Yeah.
And my life become unmanageable.
Just quickly, because the first time I went sober, I was like, oh, I'm going to go sober and that because my missus is kicking off and I keep fucking things up because I'm drinking too much and I keep getting on it and everyone's pissed off with me and do you know what? I don't want to be a dickhead, so I'm going to go sober. I still hadn't admitted I had a problem. So I went sober and then relapsed when I got bored.
The minute you admit that you are powerless, that's the key step for me, and I'm glad that's number 1. So we got number 2, became to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. I use religion. You don't have to. They do say choose someone that's not living or something that's not living, you know. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understand him. God as you understand. So again, that could be a higher power. Doesn't have to be God.
Yeah,
you shouldn't use it.
That goes back to something you said before, like where I can't remember exactly what you said, but you said something along the lines of, "Look, I've tried to help myself, I can't. So I have to pass it over to someone else to help me."
100%. And look, you know, I'm not ashamed to say I believe something up there can help me. I actually believe now that it's my father helping me because I've never felt so enjoyed or ease with sobriety since my father died. And you know what? No one can judge me for thinking that someone up there is helping me out. It's working at the end of the day, you know. Number 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. So write down, fucking dig deep, all them bad things you've done. You know what I mean? It's going to take some time, so I'm just going to read them without elaborating on them, okay? So we got number 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and to another human being that the exact nature of our wrongs. So just admitting what you've done wrong. Number 6, we're entirely ready to have God or someone else remove all these defects of character. Number 7, humbly ask him to remove all your shortcomings. Number 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and become willing to make amends to them all. 9, made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when you do would injure others. Number 10, sorry, my reading's terrible. Number 10, continue to take personal inventory and when we were wrong, promptly amend it. Number 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understand him, praying only for knowledge of his will for us and power to carry that out. Number 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we ask you to carry this message to alcoholics to practice these principles in all affairs. Yeah. So, look, Google the 12 steps, have a read of them. You don't have to follow the God thing, but just look, it's true. Yeah. If you are struggling and can't get off drugs, there ain't nothing that can stop you. You would have tried everything. Do you know what I mean?
So, Kirk, sorry to interrupt. What that really made me think and resonate with me was you said that Cocaine Anonymous and AA it is everywhere. It's in every country. It's in every major city. What does that tell you about these substances? It's just no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, you can have a problem with them.
Mate, honestly, I've been to CA meetings, right? Full to the rafters, and still people can't fit in some of them.
Yeah, I'll be honest. I'll be honest with you. I just because we got two different takes on addiction, and I just want to go into this because I love what you were saying, and the meetings was something that I put off for ages.
Yes,
my own ego put them off. I was like, I don't need them. I'm cracking this myself. Yeah. And over the months I've been sober, I don't know if I was like considering relapsing, but I had a real bad emotional what am I doing? I don't know. This doesn't feel right. Like I was the elephant in the room in my own life, and someone quite quite well known, reached out to me after seeing one of my videos online and said, mate, you're still being really detrimental to yourself, like self-hating. Because I was talking about, this is what I was doing, this is how I was, and like in a past tense. And he was very much like, you're being very detrimental to yourself. You should go to meetings. You need to go to meetings. Yeah. And I was like, I'm not sure that that's for me, because I didn't feel, and I've had this a lot. I had a comment on last week's YouTube that I actually deleted because the geezer just got fucking rude. But he said, "You're not an addict."
See that?
Yeah.
I wanted to bite, but
it really pissed me off. He said, Kirk's an addict, but you're not an addict. And the reason why I started this podcast, and that's what stopped me going to the meetings originally. The reason why I started this podcast, right, was because I never thought I was an addict. I never thought I had a problem. My side of this podcast potentially is for all the lads out there, or the women out there that just get off their nut and drink at the weekends, right? And they're trying to stop and they can't.
Yeah.
Right.
Mate,
but that is a problem.
There's people in the meetings that were just getting on it Friday to Monday.
Yeah.
And they were addicts. Their life become unmanageable.
Yeah. And
you couldn't stop it.
Yeah, and that was me. I still come to the weekend. I was still triggered. My trigger wasn't every day, but I was still triggered. And then once I picked it up, I couldn't put it down, right? And
I'm with you, brother.
Yeah, and it upset me. And that's why I love the dynamic of this, because you've got Kirk on this side of the table that is for people that are at that level of addiction. And you've got me on this side of the table that's like, I once I started, I couldn't stop. It was destroying my life. Yeah. And I seeked help to change it. But when I went to the meetings, the first person I saw when I went there was this geezer with a big like porous nose, the alcoholic nose. Big,
with the blemishes and stuff.
And he was stood outside, and he was like visibly like a obviously, had abused alcohol. And the first thing I looked, and then I turned, sort of wasn't going to go in. And the first thing he sort of said to me was like, "Mate, are you here for the meeting?" I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "What's wrong? You're looking at me and you think you're not like me, so you don't deserve to be here." And I was like, "Yeah." And I was just honest. I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "What do you mean? What you don't feel like you deserve to be here, that you didn't have a big enough problem?" And I was like, "I guess so." And this was outside before I even went in. Yeah. And he said, "Do you have a desire to stay sober? And was alcohol or drugs causing problems in your life?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Well, you're in the right place."
That's it, man. And
that was it.
I love, because I spoke about someone who become very good friends of mine, that I was about to go to my first ever CA meeting, and I get social anxiety. He said, and there was a group of people having cigarettes outside, and I couldn't go talk to people I didn't know, and I just about to walk away. He went, "Excuse me, mate, you looking for CA?" I thought, "Oh, he's caught me." "Come here, man." And I said, "Yeah, it's my first time." And he just give me a cuddle, man. And I was like, and then people like that, right?
They're saviours.
They would not judge no one. Yeah. He assured you, "Listen, brother, we're all the same." And look, an addict is all the same. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're on the brown, the white,
or a bag a day, or just at the weekend.
If your life has become unmanageable because of that, right? You would stop it. If you can't stop something, you're an addict. You know what I mean? So that geezer that said you're not an addict, he didn't live in your house on the weekend, and he didn't live in your fucking head all the time, so he can't talk. You're here trying to save people's life, Dan, and you got people like that can push you over the fucking edge. I can't stand it.
I know it.
You get half of them people in this room, man, they wouldn't say that. Do you know what I mean? Experience what we've gone through, right? Fucking sitting at the end of your fucking bed thinking, should I be here or not? Do you know what I mean? Am I fucking torturing everyone's life? And you got a geezer on and think you're not an addict. Do you think you'd be sitting here doing all this? You know what I mean?
This is affecting my work.
You know what I mean? That's cost you more than you earn.
This is costing me money, this podcast.
You get people like that. Try living in not just mine or Dan's head, anyone that relies on alcohol either every day or on the weekends, and then you can judge. Another addict can have an opinion on me because they know what we go through.
And look, ultimately, I know that geezer's looking at me going, you don't have no right to be there because my life's worse. So I know it comes from a place of pain, and I try and justify it all, but try and be kind to each other, because the truth is, last week I thought to myself, and I'm sorry to everyone that relies on this podcast, but last week I thought to myself, fuck the podcast, fuck this sobriety stuff, fuck these. I put a mental health video up the other day that just simply said, if you're struggling with, if you're abusing alcohol and drugs, and you're complaining about having mental health issues, you should take it away first, and go and exercise, and then see if you've got mental health issues. And the amount of abuse I got back from, and I just thought to myself, why am I doing this? Because I'm going for TV roles and film roles, and I'm getting people saying, oh yeah, a couple of people have mentioned, your stuff you're talking about, drugs and alcohol and stuff. It doesn't benefit, and this cost me money. And anyway, that's where I got to, and now I'm back in the zone.
People have got to realise, right, that humanity...
we're going off the point, but
it's on the fucking edge, right? listen, I know everyone's entitled to an opinion, but you can have an opinion and think it in your head.
Yeah.
You haven't got to say, "Oh, listen, mate, you're a cunt."
Yeah.
Right?
It angers us, doesn't it? I can tell. Yeah.
Humanity's on the edge. Humanity's on the edge, and you know what? If you ain't going to be nice to someone, just stay away.
Yeah,
you haven't got to do it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just don't understand. Look, I've said things I don't mean before, and I've said things that I do mean that I shouldn't have said to the person.
Yeah.
If you really don't like that person so much you want to give him stick, just unfollow him. Don't watch the video. We ain't making no one watch anything. All I want to do is try and point out there is a life on the side of addiction, on the other side, and it's a good fucking life. Come and join us. Again, as I say, if you want what we've got, do what we do. John's making love to his mic.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, like, yeah, you got some, like, shitty messages this week, but when I've been in the inbox, and the Menace to Sobriety inbox, like, it's all positive, and there's hundreds of people so thankful. Like,
thank you.
Yeah,
no, listen, I love it. I love the positive messages.
But, like,
you know.
fuck, literally, as they say, fuck the haters. That's just, that guy's just suffering.
But right, while we're on a tandem, quickly, I'm just going to read one notes and then back into the thing. Cool. So this would have been.
This podcast is all over the place today, but I love it. Fuck it, man. This is what we're here for. We're just venting, and I think I needed to vent a little bit, guys. So thank you.
Yeah. So someone sent me a message saying, "Morning. Can I ask? Can you drink alcohol and do coke, or does it both come hand in hand with you? Because I can drink without it, but if I am with the wrong people, then I could get tempted in thinking, now maybe I can't drink either. I also have ADHD, so I binge with everything. I do drink food, exercise, but then can't maintain it. Loving your podcast, by the way. Yeah. I always felt that alcohol was never my problem this is my reply. So I said, I always felt that alcohol was never my problem as I didn't really drink much. I would normally do coke without anything else, mostly. But first of all, I don't like what alcohol does to me. So I was basically saying, I could probably drink, right? But there's always that chance that drink clouds your vision. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? There is a chance I could go to the pub, have a little lunch and a couple of beers and get drunk. Yeah. But there's just, why am I going to add that factor? If I know that there is some kind of element, something there that will, you're drunk, so... Oh, you're too drunk. I think you just need a corner. That's all. You won't even feel the coke because it's just going to bring you down off the booze. That's how it works. Listen, if you are sending anyone any messages like that, trying to evaluate the amount of drugs to drink or can I do, just stop it for a while. Yeah. Take yourself back, have a little reset. Yeah. And then see how you feel. Yeah, that's a great one for me because that's exactly where I was at. I don't think in the traditional sense of the word that I was an alcoholic, that I couldn't control my drinking from like day to day. You know, I go days without drinking, but when I did drink, I drank like an alcoholic. I was like, you know, I once I picked it up, I wanted to fucking go full beam ahead. Yeah. But listen, the reason why I stopped drinking was because I wanted to stop using cocaine. It's as simple as that. Yeah. And what made you do coke? I personally myself, I've never dry sniffed in my life. I've never gone one day and thought, but put it this way. This is the best way for me to put it, right? Sometimes when I drank, nothing would stop me getting on it. I was like, a click would go, and I'm like, I'm getting on it. And once I got on it, that days were ruined for me, and I was an arsehole and everything like that. So I knew, it took me a long, long time to work it out, but I knew there was no way in a million years that I could ask my drunk self to make a good decision. No way I could make anyone. You can't ask your drunk self. If I'm drinking, everything bad was a good idea. Do you know what I mean? So I knew it took me a long time to work it out, but unfortunately, if I ever wanted to stop using the cocaine, unfortunately, the drink had to go. And this brings us on to what we were talking about. Sorry, with this. I've gone off, but there was just some key points. That's good. That's a good point. It's people at the beginning of their journey, at the beginning, and we're talking about making changes, right? That's it, making changes. I've really digressed today. No, but that's all right. But you were talking about for on your side for someone that was alcohol and drug dependent daily. Yeah. That's what you had to do to make the changes. That's what I had to do. I had to hand myself over. Yeah. To me, it was I'm Catholic, so I went back to the church where I went to as a kid, you know, and I've just prayed to what I would call Jesus, true or false, if he's there or not. But I literally run out of resources, and you shouldn't use religion, but I was like, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done, man. I'm done. Please. Yeah, you handed just so. Just help me.
so that's what I consider not drastic, but that's quite heavy. Like you're right, you're straight into it to change.
Yeah.
On my side, like with the changes, like if you're not alcohol and drug dependent and it's just the weekends that you're fucking up and you can't stop doing it, I think one of the massive changes you've got to make first of all is your environment, your people. You can't be around them people. The way I'd look at it is all your triggers, or everything that you got to look. You got to see what your triggers are. Look at all your triggers. Your friends are triggers.
They could be people, places,
days
emotions,
of the week,
emotions,
fucking
as well.
weather,
Yeah.
You got to look at your triggers. You got to see them as triggers, and when they come up, you've got to evaluate what they are. But first things first, make a decision, right? And if you make a decision that you have got a problem and you want to change it, you're going to make that decision. Then you're going to try and stay sober, and you're going to fuck it up.
Yeah.
And you're going to fuck up trying to stay sober many times until something clicks. But what you've got to work on is your mental strength, what your triggers are, and cut people out of your life, man. There's absolutely nothing wrong with cutting people out of your life.
Listen, if you've got friends that you only ever drink with, okay, look, as well as they might be your friends, if you only see these friends in the pub or in the toilet doing a pub, are they really friends? Do you know what I mean? Do your friends ring you to go to the pub, or do you just go to the pub knowing they're there? Do you know what I mean? John, what other points? Because
should we go through a couple of call-ins?
Yeah, perfect.
This podcast has been wild, but I hope.
Oh, no, we're getting it out. Listen,
Oh, it's got some great bits.
You know what? It's just I owe my life to Cocaine Anonymous, but I've got to start giving myself credit for it, because I cut everyone out. You know, and I know this is hard for people in relationship as well. So my partner at the time, she was the one that said, Kirk, you're done, man. You've got to be done with it. So when I found CA, she was really happy. But then I was going to 3-4 meetings a night, and she started getting the ump.
A week, sorry.
Yeah, a week, sorry. And then she started getting the ump with me, and I was like, listen, I need to do this. So if you're a partner that if you're someone that wants your partner to go to CA, realise they're just going to give a little section of their life for that at first. Yeah. You know what I mean? But it's life's good.
Yeah. You've got to commit. You've got to commit. You've got to commit like at least 3-4 months of completely changing your life.
That's it, man. Listen, you commit a fucking lot of time to going to get the fucking gear, where you're going to do it, how much you're going to buy, going to the pub. Do it on sobriety, man.
Brassing.
Do you know what I mean?
Let's not move on from that.
All right, we got a question from Hayden.
All right, lads. Loving the work that you guys do.
Okay.
I'm 146 days sober myself. Watch the podcast regularly. Just wanted to share my experience, really. Well, a little bit of it, you know, like for those that are struggling out there as well. You know, there's hope, and you know, I'm 146 days in, and my life's completely changed. You know
I love that.
You know, I wrecked a lot of things in my drinking career, and but there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and just want to maybe understand a little bit more. Like Dan said that he's regularly join the meetings, you know, AA. AA saved my life, you know. And just want to sort of hear a little bit more about Dan's experience, like as and where that sort of develops. But anyway, keep up the good work, and it's a massive thing that you're doing, you know, and you're touching a lot more people than you might think.
Hayden, thank you very much. Well done on that sobriety. Dan,
I love that. Listen, I've been doing Zoom meetings as well, and I think if the best way for me to describe it, like Kirk said, is if you look, you can sit there and not say a thing and just listen, can't you? And a beautiful thing about it is people will go, oh, I've had this week, or this has been playing on my mind, or I'm going through this, or I feel like this, or this is happening, and you'll sit there and go, fucking hell, mate, that's me, because it's a disease, isn't it? Or it's a condition or a disease that people have, and
is it a disease? Is it?
I don't know.
John,
I don't.
Can you Google, is an addiction a disease?
I've definitely heard that. Let's see if it's officially.
You know where I've heard it from? Eminem's song, "Addiction is a Disease" at the end, because Eminem's like 12 years in sobriety now, isn't he? Yeah. You know, if you see what he wears, his necklace is the CA emblem.
Is it?
It's
really?
the triangle in the circle. You got to get 3 points of it.
Yeah, it's called a chronic disease, apparently.
Yeah.
But yeah, listen. So
talk to the people. Just a normal AA meeting. Like from getting out your car, please, Dan. Can you sum it up for people?
Yeah, I'm not really the best person because I've only had a few. But
well, that's why you are the best person, because these people haven't had none yet.
Yeah, so someone will chair the meeting, so they're like, "Hi guys, this is my experience with it. This is my journey. That's like the first bit of the meeting. This is what I've been through." And then they just open up the floor and they say, "You can just take it in turns to talk."
Yeah,
and you can either say about your journey or anything, and people talk about maybe their week or or whatever, and that's all I've experienced so far, and I get a wonderful feeling of, well, listen, it builds in me, man. This anxiety.
The reason I think going regularly is good, because you get to vent to strangers, which become your friends, right? Saying like, "Oh, someone cut me up today," like, honestly, that might sound like a small thing, but if you didn't vent that day,
it niggles.
Then the next day, something else is going to.
Also,
and then at the end of the week, you've got fucking all this frustration.
But also a massive thing for me, and I'm not going to say who it is because they're well known in the public. But I want to say thank you to that person, because my ego wouldn't let me go, because I thought it was like another level of addiction. Like to go to a meeting, I was like, oh, actually, no,
I'm not that bad.
I'm not that much. It's a weird. The addiction's weird. I'm not that bad.
I've been in meetings, and there's a midwife, there was a scaffolder. There was a broker.
Yeah.
There ain't there was, every person was different, but the one thing we had in common was drugs was making our life unmanageable. And we're never too big. The ego, you got to have pride in yourself, but the ego has to go.
But and I love that. That's so true. And another big thing for it is that I feel like my mind plays tricks on me. So for instance, I'll be like, maybe everyone's right. Maybe I wasn't really actually that bad. And maybe, this is getting a bit boring, or maybe I'm making a big deal out of this. And then when you sit and you hear someone go, oh, do you know what? I was 7 years in, and I thought maybe I'm at the stage where I can have a couple of drinks within 2 weeks, and they described the horrible, sordid, crazy shit that they've done, and you sit there and go, yeah, actually, that would be me.
Yeah,
it makes you think I'm cool.
Listen, you're never at fault to admit you got a problem, big or small, doesn't matter. John said.
All right, we got another message. Well, a message from.
You take this one first.
From Michael.
Hi there, my name's Michael. So basically, got a question for you about addiction. I'm currently in and out of active addiction since I was a teenager. I believe it gets progressively worse. Do you believe that it gets progressively worse? And how did it get progressively worse for you? For me, it started with just having a joint in the park with my pals, to selling cocaine, doing pills, then the heroin. So that's my view, but yeah, let me know what you think, and if you do read it.
Michael, how you doing? Thanks for the message, man. Mate, listen, of course it is. Anything gets progressively worse, either it be food or not, We start to do drugs for a reason at first, just to heighten that experience of that night. So we're going to go out and have a laugh, and we'll do drugs, and it will heighten that laugh for that night. But then after a while, we start getting more emotions, and it starts to heighten our bad emotions as well as our good emotions. So as well as you're going to have some big highs, the more you do, then your body starts to get a little bit immune to it. So then you have to start doing more. So then your fucking highs are bigger, which means your lows are going to be bigger. And then rather than doing a ticket on a night, then next week it's 2, then 3, then we're going to do it in the week. And then it becomes an isolated thing you're doing on your day. It is one of the biggest... It just snowballs. That is what, because as you're doing drugs on a regular basis, you are creating carnage in your life and everyone's around your life. And that snowball is getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And you can't face that snowball because you're so fucking at your nut, right? You can't, I can't go attack all the problems I've done. What I'm going to do more drugs now just so I can fuck that off. Listen, that snowball is getting bigger and bigger and bigger until you realise that this is going to get worse and worse and worse. You're going to park them brakes up. You're going to admit to yourself that I can't stop this on my own. I need to seek help. You're going to Google CA where to find. You're going to go to your next meeting. The minute you listen to this, you're going to go to a meeting that evening or the next morning. Your life will be saved the minute you admit that you are powerless and give your life to whoever's in that meeting and say, fucking help me. But yeah, man, it's something that just gets bigger, Michael.
Wow. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're speaking from the heart, man. And again, this is why I love this, because we've got the two different completely sides of the table here, two different opinions on each thing. For me, I think the reason why it can get worse and worse is when I went back to drinking and getting on the sesh, I knew my fucking days were numbered. So I was like, I'm getting as much in as I can.
That's it.
And I was like my stag. I was like, I went on my stag thinking, you know, I've got a fucking kind of knowing I've got a problem. I've got a problem here. Once I start this, how am I going to stop it? You know, and the days after my stag, I was like, should I drink? Shouldn't I drink today? And because I was so fucked, and then I was like, well, do you know what? I've got a feeling the missus is going to fucking call me out on this again, and so I'm just going to get as much of this in me as I can.
Remember what we said last week? That could be too much. Game over.
Yeah.
That last session, you thought, let's get one in before I go sober. That could be the last one, brother. You might not wake up that night.
John?
All right, we've probably got time for one more message.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been crazy.
Yeah. It's been wild.
It's been a good one.
Okay, this is from Adam.
Yo.
Hi, it's Adam here. I started listening to the podcast just before Christmas, and that's when my sobriety date was, about the 5th of December. I'm currently at day 216.
Well done, you warrior.
Wow.
Mentally, I feel great, and physically, I'm probably in best shape of my life.
Good on you, boy.
My plan was just to do 12 months, which will lead me to Christmas this year. I'm currently in Africa for the next 6 months with the army, so that's helping being away from like alcohol and bars and nightclubs and all the stuff back in the UK. I just wanted to say thanks for doing the podcast. It's really helped me on my journey. And yeah, cheers, guys. Appreciate it.
Well done, man.
Adam, thank you very much. Thank you for your service as well, man.
Yeah.
What was that geezer saying on social media the other day? Oh, you men talking about your depression couldn't get you in the army. Look at this man.
Yeah.
Adam, serving for the country. Well done, mate. Thank you very much for your service.
Yeah.
And he's admitting that he's had problems.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It happens to everyone. A respect for a man like that to admit. And fuck me, it's good sobriety days, man.
Fucking brilliant. Yeah, I don't know what to say to you, mate, apart from well done and thank you. John, have we got time for one more? Can you give us one more? But just to you, man,
Sure.
to all the, to any, because I know there's a lot of servicemen out there that listen, and yeah, man, like thank you, and yeah, keep spreading our message, share it with your boys.
Yeah, because listen, we think we're going through trouble.
But them lads,
they're going through trouble, and they're not even home to be able to sort it out at the moment.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You know, that's
Love
and
it.
they're women, the servicemen and women are smashing it.
Yeah.
All right, we've got one more from Sam.
This is about the fucking 5th voice note I've tried to send in. So I don't really know what I want to say, but I know I wanted to send a voice note in mainly to say both of you are giving unreal advice. I've been sober now for 9 months.
Well done, mate.
And I've never really listened to any sort of sobriety podcasts or anything like that. And I've never really thought as to why I really gave up the drink. I know I didn't really enjoy it anymore. That was mainly the reason why I did it. And I found myself drinking by myself and whatnot in you know, during the week and that, and I knew that weren't right. So I think that's why I quit. But you know, listening to what you boys are saying and your experiences, it makes it so relatable to things that I didn't even realise were relatable to me, if that makes sense. In you know, with giving up the drinking and whatnot. Kirk especially, mate, fucking hell.
That's it. That's where the message wraps off.
Oh, just when it was coming into Kirk.
Yeah, I know. That's where it cuts off. I think he was going to say there was someone in the Elvis machine.
It was me. Now listen, he sounds like a nice guy. That's probably going to be a nice message. Thank you very much, mate. Yeah, listen, some people don't feel that they have a problem. They just think, you know what, I'm just going to give this drink up for a bit. Then they realise they had a problem once they give it up, because they're like...
That was hard to give up as well.
Yeah, and they're realising like, oh my God, my life's amazing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But you know what? Thank you for the love, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the love. Yeah, I'm really enjoying life at the moment, and that's because I'm starting to do the simple things. I'm waking up 3 a.m. I'm having a coffee. I'm going for a walk. I'm not letting just, you know, the minute lucky enough I've got Dan now, when something bothers me, I might tell Dan and vice versa. And it is really good to find that one person and it, you know, someone who's been through the similar journey, because, you know, you can tell someone something that hasn't gone through your experience and they'll just be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But when someone you just know they know. Do you know what I mean? So find someone.
Thanks, man.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I've got a lot of love for Dan, John, there's Menace to Sobriety and life in general at the moment. Do you know what I mean? It's great.
You got a purpose again, like
That's
a good purpose again.
That's
man.
it, man. Yeah, I was before this podcast, I was like, oh my God, what am I doing? But yeah, I've got a job once a week now. Hey.
Yeah, just ain't getting paid for it. All right, guys. Well, listen, I was prepared to fucking jack all this in, man, like just last week, and jack everything in. So that last voice note, especially, but the voice notes, and you saved me this week, Kirk, mate. So thank you so much, man.
But I just need to say one thing though. So we went and played golf. Right, and Dan was having such a bad day and still smashed me all over that course. Yeah. And he was having a bad day.
No, I won't be. You had some good shots, mate. You just fucking. You need to calm your shit down. He misses the shot and then his fucking golf club goes flying.
But no, honestly, it's people like this man why I am this man.
Oh, thank you, man. I love that, and I'm fully motivated now to carry on. And for anyone out there that's giving me shit, I know it comes from a place of pain on your side, so I need to work on receiving it better. If you heard the conversations me and Kirk have about the hate we get,
they're not as nice as this.
No, they're not. But look, I argued with a lot of people last week online. I'm not doing it no more. But to everyone that I argued with last week, I'm sorry if I was rude or if I was snapping back and stuff like that. I was just having a really bad week, and I'm going to try and sort of see that it all comes from a place of pain on your behalf. And I ain't going nowhere. I'm sticking with this. Me and Kirk are sticking with the podcast. I just had a little bit of a bitch week, and I got beaten up at boxing. I got my head kicked in a couple of times at boxing.
You come back though good.
Yeah,
mate, you got a shot straight in the solar pecs. You only had a little breather. You got straight back up.
Yeah,
I would have shit myself at the same time as that.
Oh my God, it was horrible. So it was an all round bad week. John, anything you want to finish on, my dear lover?
I think that's it. Great episode. Some absolute roller coaster moments. Yeah, good shit. And yeah, if everyone's giving you shit, just fuck them. It's like 99.9% immensely positive.
Yeah,
and life's too short to focus on the other people's nonsense.
So, what are you doing?
What are
you doing?
I just want to finish. So at the end of every CA, we do a serenity prayer.
Oh, go on then.
Okay, and look, it helps me out. Okay, it helps. I know a lot of people that have got this. Listen. Take God as you understand it. So it doesn't have to be the word God, okay? Yeah. It could be anything. A parent has passed away, a nan, a granddad, anything. But this we all say this at the end of CA, you know what I mean? And I don't know if they do it at AA today.
The serenity,
yeah. So it's God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Listen, you can say that to yourself. You can even, you know what I mean? Just little things like this has helped me out, and I don't know if there's anyone up there, but something helped me. Something down here couldn't help me before. For 7 years of my life, I was causing havoc.
Yeah,
I give something up there, and I've got a life back. So don't knock it till you try it.
Yep. Wow, all right. Emotional roller coaster. And if you can turn Kirk's story into an animation, then please hit us up, because that's some great content. And leave us some comments. And listen, me and Kirk are doing live shows. The link is in the bio. The link is down there. If you want to come and see us live, then please get your tickets now. It helps fund the podcast. And yeah, I don't know what else to say apart from sharing's caring. Let us know if you're coming on the journey with us. Leave voice notes on the Menace to Sobriety Instagram. You voice note the Instagram if you want us to read it out. John, thank you very much.
Pleasure.
And Kirk, fucking loads of wisdom as per usual. I love you, brother.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
That was Menace to Sobriety. See you soon. Hello! We are going to take the Menace to Sobriety to the live stage, and we need a live studio audience to interact with us, to come along, listen, laugh, and learn everything about sobriety, mental health, well-being, and just come along for a night out with like-minded people. We are going to be going live on the 30th of August, 27th of September, 25th of October, and the 29th of November. That's one a month. Get your tickets now. Come down, meet the team, and have some fun. Menace to Sobriety Live, coming soon. Oh yes, and don't forget, if you want to come and see me live and meet me, I'm going on tour. The Daniel O'Reilly Out of Character full UK tour kicks off in January 2024, and tickets are on sale right now. I'm going to try and get out and meet as many of you as possible, and of course, I'm going to be bringing the laughs all over the UK. There's 23 dates right now, and I'm adding more all the time. Hit the link in the bio and get your tickets now and come have some fun. If you're going through a tough time at the moment, please don't suffer in silence. Feel free to pick up the phone and contact any of these helplines. I personally, myself, at one of my darkest points, contacted the Samaritans, and it completely changed my outlook and got me out of a really deep, dark place. A problem shared really is a problem halved. So if you don't feel confident talking to those around you, check out any of these organisations and give them a call. This is my Facebook group. Just simply search on Facebook, Men and Their Emotions. It's for men only, but once you're in there, you can talk anonymously about your problems and help others and just feel a little bit of community. So come join the conversation, Men and Their Emotions, on Facebook. Thanks for watching.
Menace to sobriety. Just a menace.